Cowboys Nation. Let's talk about something that's been brewing all off-season. Something that might just define the entire future of this franchise. The Dallas Cowboys have been working relentlessly to improve in every department, from free agency moves to draft picks, to coaching adjustments and beyond. This team is not standing still. They're evolving. They're chasing greatness. And if you believe in that mission, in what this team is building, go ahead and smash that like button right now. It helps us a ton, and it shows that you're riding with us as we break down two of the biggest stories coming out of the Star today. Because, folks, we're talking about Micah Parsons potentially becoming the highest-paid defensive player in the NFL and how George Pickens might be the key to unlocking a championship-level offense in Dallas. Let's dive in. Let's start with the lion in the room, Micah Parsons. Micah is currently entering the final year of his rookie deal after the Cowboys picked up his fifth-year option. If no extension gets done, he's set to hit free agency next offseason. But according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, that scenario is highly unlikely. On the latest episode of The Insiders, Rappaport revealed that the Cowboys fully intend to lock Parsons down long-term. In fact, they're not just looking to extend him. They're preparing to make him the highest-paid defensive player in the NFL. Think about that. Not just on the team, not just in the NFC, the entire league. Here's what Rappaport said. Micah Parsons said himself recently that he believes the Cowboys are costing themselves money by not doing this deal early. But it just does not seem that is going to happen. You understand where things are, and it does make sense that Micah Parsons would be last wide to sign a deal. There's no doubt that most of the other players, if they were to do interviews like Myles Garrett, would at least acknowledge that. It would make sense if Micah Parsons ended the offseason, began the season, as the highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL. That's a bold statement, but it's absolutely deserved. Even after missing 4 games in the 2024 season with an ankle sprain, Parsons still put together an elite year. Let's look at the numbers. 43 total tackles, 30 solo, 12 sacks, 23. QB hits 12 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles. Those stats, in just 13 games, are monstrous, and anyone watching the Cowboys play knows Micah's presence extends way beyond what shows up in the box score. He demands double teams. He opens lanes for others. He changes game plans. And most importantly, he's the heartbeat of the defense. He's only 26 years old. He's entering his prime. And let's not forget, he's done all this with the type of versatility we haven't seen since the days of Lawrence Taylor. So yes, it would absolutely make sense for the Cowboys to wait and see what kind of contract T.J. Watt negotiates. But when the dust settles, Micah Parsons should walk into Week 1 as the highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And if you're building your franchise around anyone not named Patrick Mahomes, Parsons is that guy. Now let's shift gears. Because while the defense looks primed to explode once again in 2025, there's another reason Cowboys fans should be buzzing with excitement heading into training camp. Ladies and gentlemen, meet George Pickens, your new WR2. Or maybe 1B? The Cowboys made a major statement when they traded for Pickens from Pittsburgh this offseason, pairing him with CeeDee Lamb to create one of the most dynamic wide receiver duos in the NFL. According to Pro Football Focus, Pickens brings something rare: perfection. PFF gave him a 99.9 deep receiving grade, which tied for best in the NFL. Let me repeat that. Perfect. 99.9. That's elite company. And now he's catching passes from Dak Prescott, who's back at full health and determined to silence the critics after a rocky 2024. Think about this offensive equation for a moment. You've got CeeDee Lamb, a polished route runner and proven WR1. You've got George Pickens, a vertical threat with elite body control and hands. You've got Dak Prescott, now recovered, with a revamped offensive scheme under Brian Schottenheimer. And you've got a running game that just got a whole lot easier to establish, because no one is stacking the box with Pickens and Lamb running routes. This offense could be lethal. Here's what Pro Football Focus said. Between Dak Prescott's return to full strength and George Pickens' arrival from Pittsburgh, Dallas should see improvement from last year's passing game performance. Assuming he is healthy, Prescott should be able to bounce back from a career-worst 67.2 PFF passing grade. That passing grade was not Dak's standard, but you put the right weapons around him, and now with Pickens in the fold, you're going to see that grade shoot back up. And don't underestimate how this opens up Tony Pollard and the run game as well. Defenses can't cheat. They can't crowd the line. Every play becomes a chess match, and Schottenheimer now has two rooks on the board who can stretch the field. Now, it wouldn't be a complete Cowboys story without some drama. Yes, Pickens has had some headlines. His fiery personality and some off-field noise followed him in Pittsburgh. But so far, he's been all business in Dallas. He's saying the right things. He's working hard. And the locker room, led by guys like Dak, CeeDee, and Parsons, is strong enough to keep him focused. Training camp will give us the first real look at how he fits in with the playbook, the tempo, and the attitude. But if Pickens stays locked in, we might be talking about the steal of the offseason. Let's take a step back and look at the big picture. The Cowboys are getting healthy. They added impact players like George Pickens and Kenneth Murray. They had a strong draft. Brian Schottenheimer has a fresh offensive vision, and Micah Parsons, the soul of this defense, is about to get paid like the superstar he is. This is shaping up to be the most well-rounded, complete Cowboys team we've seen in years, and the optimism around the star is real. But we want to hear from you. Dak Prescott is entering his 10th season in the NFL, a full decade wearing the star. And yet, when it comes to defining his legacy, the jury is still very much out. Prescott's words this offseason have been striking. Here's what he said when asked about his legacy and what's left to prove. "I want to win a championship. The legacy and the things, and whatever comes after I finish playing, will take care of itself. I want to win a championship. Be damned if it's just for my legacy, for this team, for my personal being, for my sanity. The legacy will take care of itself. I have to stay where my feet are." Let's stop right there. That's not just a quarterback talking about the next season. That's a man feeling the pressure, hearing the criticism, and trying to block out the noise, but also admitting how much it's all starting to weigh on him. And Cowboys fans? We've seen the highs and the heartbreaks. 5 playoff appearances in 9 seasons, but only 2 wins. Never making it past the divisional round. That's the resume. And as much as we love Dak's leadership, his toughness, his heart, in Dallas, we measure greatness by rings, ESPN ways. In Good Isn't Good Enough. On ESPN's Get Up, longtime host Mike Greenberg didn't hold back. Prescott's legacy right now, he's a very rich man who's a very good player. But like Tony Romo before him, there's one big thing missing from the resume. That one big thing? Postseason success. Greenberg continued, "They have a good enough team that they can be in the playoffs this year. That's when it starts. That's when the evaluation of Dak Prescott moving forward starts. Once they get to the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs, I think that's a flop. But if they get there, they have to start winning some games once they get there. Harsh? Maybe. Fair? Definitely. The regular season has never been Prescott's problem. Even last season, when he struggled early, you could see flashes of his leadership before the injury derailed his campaign. But playoff wins. That's the missing piece. That's the conversation now. A career worst season, followed by a must-win. Let's be real. 2024 was a disappointment. Dak posted the worst passer rating of his career. His touchdown-to-interception ratio hit a new low. He played just 8 games before a hamstring injury ended his season early. When you're the franchise quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, there's no room for sympathy. The expectations are always sky high, and last season only intensified the scrutiny. Now, at 31 years old, Dak's window isn't closing just yet, but it's definitely shrinking. He knows it. We know it. ESPN's Damian Woody knows it too. Here's what Woody said. He's heard all the noise. He understands it. You can just tell by his facial expression when he talks about legacy. He knows it starts after the regular season. He's done everything as far as the regular season is concerned. When it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, and you talk about quarterback play in particular, your legacy starts in the postseason. That's where Dak Prescott has come up short. And Cowboys Nation, can we really argue with that? The shadow of a Romo and the standard of Aikman. Let's talk about something that's been looming over Dak's entire career, the legacy of Tony Romo. Romo was an incredible talent. He holds several franchise passing records. He made magic happen on the field. But like Dak, he never got past the divisional round. And that lack of playoff success defines how many fans remember him. Now Dak is walking the exact same tightrope. Win, and you cement your legacy alongside Aikman, Staubach, Meredith. Lose again, especially early in the postseason, and you risk falling into that same almost great category that Romo was trapped in. It's not about stats anymore. It's about moments. It's about January. And in 2025, everything rides on that. Do you believe Micah Parsons should be the highest-paid defender in the NFL? Will George Pickens live up to the hype and become the perfect complement to CeeDee Lamb? And does this 2025 squad have what it takes to finally break through and make a deep playoff run? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get the conversation going. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update from inside Cowboys Nation. We're bringing you exclusive insights, real-time updates, and everything you need to stay locked in all season long. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Cowboys!